Believe it or not, we have just 2 months until Capcom Cup 2017. Players are honing skills, studying tapes and scrambling for last-minute qualification points at Street Fighter V Pro Tour events, but there's still a very big variable that no one can even begin preparing for yet: the 6th and final Season 2 DLC character. We don't know for certain the identity of this fighter, but leaks have called the last few DLC fighters to a T, and predict Guy's master, Zeku, as the next. All signs seem to point to Tokyo Game Show nearly 2 weeks ago, which saw the reveal of Karen in 2015 and the release date for Urien in 2016, but to the surprise of just about everyone in the community, no character announcements were made this year. We could be reading into it a bit, but as we watched the commentators as the final day of TGS neared its end, it looked as though even they were holding out for the news that never came. Was it supposed to happen, but then called off last minute? Regardless, the ship has sailed and we now turn our eyes to this weekend's New York Comic Con. Not only do I hope to learn the identity of the next fighter, I'm hoping for an announcement not unlike Minutes, which promised the character's official addition to the roster just days after the reveal. The first collection of DLC characters were loosely scheduled to come out every other month, and we assumed the same format was planned for Season 2. Technically the second character in S2 dropped in February, but we didn't see it until May, perhaps a month tardy. Abigail then came out 2 months after at the end of July, and then players were surprised with Minot's reveal just 1 month later in August, thus putting Capcom back on their tentative schedule. Since then, we haven't heard anything about the final character, though I'd be willing to bet they'll be out in October. While balance changes are significant, it's the fresh characters that play arguably the biggest role in giving SF5 its unique feel and identity from season to season. As such, one might hope to at least have the possibility of seeing the newcomers spotlighted at the seasonal climax that is Capcom Cup. They won't be as fresh next season, and instead will exist more so as routine parts of the roster. This chapter of the game is widely defined by its new fighters, and having them tournament ready for the final event surely adds to the esports narrative of Street Fighter V, the spectator sport. Pro Tour rules dictate that a new character must be out for just a week to be tournament legal, but realistically speaking, it'd be extremely improbable to see a player enter the bracket filled with the strongest players currently in the world using a character they've only been able to explore for a brief time. Even if Zeku were released this weekend, probability says we won't see him at the big dance. Every day that the character isn't out further decreases the likelihood of any Cap Cup player using him. While this isn't by any means an end-of-the-world offense, it would be at the very least unfortunate and somewhat unpoetic. This is why I'd hope to see Zeku or whoever not only announced this weekend at New York Comic Con, but released to the public as well. How important do you feel it is to give the DLC fighters of Season 2 a fighting chance at making a Capcom Cup appearance? How likely do you think it is that we'll get said new character this weekend? Please chime in with your thoughts in the comments.